Richard Todd already has passed for 392 yards against the Raiders in that game. Let's take you around the league now and update all the scores. Until just a short time ago, the Eagles had an upset brewing. They had sacked Roger Staubach 5 times, but then the blocked punt. Cowboys opportunists cash in, lead 13-7 right now. Green Bay and Tampa Bay. Packers score for the first time in the second half this season. They are in command of Abe Gibron's defensive unit in Tampa Bay. The New York Giants lead the Washington Redskins as they come back in the second half, so they could beat the Skins twice in one season. Cleveland and Buffalo. The Browns ahead. Sipe 53 yards to Warfield. Halfback touchdown pass thrown by Greg Pruitt. Browns in command. Denver and Cincinnati. Sensational football game and a tough one. Kenny Anderson started for the Bengals, knocked out with an injury. Craig Morton knocked out with an injury. So it's Reeves for the Bengals and Penrose for the Broncos right now in the fourth quarter. Houston and Pittsburgh. 7 turnovers early in that game. Steelers lead at 13-7 in the fourth quarter. And here could be the upset of the afternoon. Shea Stadium, Jets leading. Richard Todd has thrown 4 touchdown passes in that game. That missed extra point looms rather big right now. Miami and Seattle, 24-13. Dolphins in command of that game. And, of course, the ball game you are watching out of Soldier Field in Chicago, tied at 3 at the half. St. Louis, with Jim Hart well in command right now. They lead New Orleans by a score of 21-7. Phyllis? Dallas Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles 13-7. Let's take a look at some of the action. The Eagles struck first. Nice catch coming up by Smith in the end zone. Jaworski here, number 7, goes into the corner, 6 points. And after the extra point, it was 7-0. Dorsett off the bench. Watch him weave from the 12 to the 5-yard line, pick his spot. Then it was Dorsett behind the Cowboys blocking. Newhouse out in front, barges in, but the extra point was blocked, 7-6. What a year Randy White and Harvey Martin are having. White hits Jaworski, and big Harvey Martin recovers that fumble. And then, of course, the blocked punt, and the Cowboys went ahead. Irv?
Brent, the Green Bay Packers travel down to Tampa Bay, and they lead the winless Buccaneers by a score of 13-0. Quarterback Len Dickey was injured in the first half, and his substitute right here, David Whitehurst, comes in and hands the ball off to Eric Torgelson. Torgelson goes up here for a nice gain, setting up a 40-yard field goal by Chester Marcol, and the Green Bay Packers take a temporary 3-0 lead. Len Dickey came back in the game, however, and here he is late in the half, handing a ball off, and Torgelson goes in for a touchdown, and Green Bay has a commanding 13-0 lead right now in the fourth quarter.
Irv, unfortunately, we've got an injury to Charlie Taylor of the Washington Redskins. We hope it is not serious. We don't think it is. We think it's just a popped hamstring. There was also a late hit involved in this play. Now, here it is. It is not the late hit, I don't believe, though, that forced that injury. That hit came up toward the head area, and it is a pulled hamstring. You can see Charlie going back there to the rear of his leg. Mosley kicked a field goal after that, and Washington was ahead 6-0 at that point. And they were pretty much in command of the football game. Giants fumble right there by Spencer. Johnson recovered. But then the Giants came alive in the second half. Kodar barged in, 7-6, and that's where they are right now, still in the third quarter.
Well, at halftime in Chicago, and you're watching it, the Atlanta Falcons lead by a score of 6-3, and that stingy Falcon defense is still intact as the Bears have not been able to put a touchdown in the end zone as yet. But Bob Avellini, having a pretty good day, goes to the air to James Scott, who takes the ball all the way down to the Atlanta 15-yard line, which sets up a Bob Thomas field goal. And Thomas comes in and connects from about 25 yards out, and they go ahead here 3-0 early in the ball game. Avellini had a pretty good day throwing the ball, and he likes to go to John Gilliam, but as he puts the ball in the air, Ray Easterling, a defensive back from the Atlanta Falcons, brings it down, and he takes the ball back along the sideline up to the 30-yard line and setting up an Atlanta field goal, and half ended 6-3.
Irv, a wild game going on right now. St. Louis and New Orleans. Cardinals struck first. Pretty play coming up. Jim Hart to Mel Gray, one of the better pass-catch combinations in the NFL. 38 yards. Hart with good protection. Right there, 6 points. 7-0 after the extra point. Now, Jerry Latin will run off tackle. He'll get down to the 2-yard line for the Cardinals. First and goal. Morris dives in for the score. Then it was 14-0. Cardinals really in command. Now, watch the blocked field goal. I haven't seen this play. Illegal procedure coming up right there for that illegal bat by 57. That gave the Cardinals the ball deep in New Orleans territory. Wayne Morris, once again, it was 21-0. And back came the Saints. Chuck Muncie put them on the board with that 20-yard effort right there. 21-7. Bobby Scott replacing the injured Archie Manning. Goes to Thaxton. It was 21-14, and now watch this effort. So far, it's one of the best efforts of the day. Scott to Childs. Tremendous effort coming up here. 55 yards for the touchdown. Look at him. Get away from that defensive back. 21 all. And I'll tell you, Phyllis, you got a very special highlight for us.
I certainly do, and I've been listening to you guys do your highlights all day, and you do a good job. But now
Well, thank you, Phyllis.
Well, you're certainly welcome. I mean, you've got a lot to work with there, guys. Now, my highlight is the game I've been waiting for quite some time. And tomorrow night, fellas, it'll be one of Monday Night Football game on CBS that we'll all enjoy. The homecoming game for Charlie Brown and the whole Peanuts gang. The cheerleaders are on hand, the crowd, and Charlie Brown is none other than the place kicker. And, of course, you recognize Snoopy there. Now, who is that adorable little girl getting ready to hold the ball? Lucy. Who else? Charlie Brown had a little trouble on this first kick, and he lands right in the middle of the other team. But leave it to Snoopy. He's going to give him a second chance. And Charlie Brown out there all has to do good because he's got a date with the homecoming queen, and he wants to look good in her eyes. And here he goes. Well, he missed the ball again, and whoops, good grief, Charlie Brown. He got tackled by the whole team. But you can't keep a good man down, and here he comes. Charlie Brown Homecoming, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS. It's your first kiss, Charlie Brown.
Phyllis, repeat after me. Atlanta leads Chicago 6-3. That game is not tied.
Atlanta leads Chicago, and Dallas leads Philadelphia.
All right, let's go back now to Soldier Field. Vin Scully, what'd you say? Strawberry Blonde, Alex Hopkins. Vin and Alex, take it away.